California is paradise for government workers. Per person, Texas actually has more of them. But California pays better and gives out such generous retirement benefits that California will probably go broke. Some 50-year-old retirees were promised they can collect forever. Well, until they die, but actually after that too, because their spouse may collect after they die, and the money just isn't there. Dan Mitchell studies state pension problems nationally for the Cato Institute. Kevin James is running to be mayor of Los Angeles. So before we get to what Kevin discovered in Los Angeles, how bad is this? These people want to be responsible, I would think.
I'm not sure they want to be responsible. I think the politicians want to get reelected, and the state government workers want to get as much as they can before the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. The problem is California is Greece, the Greece of America. There are too many people riding in the wagon, not enough people pulling the wagon. Now they've raised taxes, so you're going to see the productive people leaving the state and more people living off the government, voting for more government, but sooner or later, nobody's there to pay the bills.
All right, they pay the workers more in California, but California has a higher cost of living.
It does, but even with all that, that doesn't justify the difference between, say, $50,000 average wage salary versus $70,000 in California. California is pricing itself out of the market.
Plus the benefits which go into this fund called CalPERS, and they assume for years an 8% rate of return. Oh, we're going to make so much money. Now they've just lowered it from 7.75% to 7.5%, like that's responsible. Where do they get off thinking that they can make that rate of return? Why is that acceptable?
I'm going to assume tonight I'm going to party with the Victoria's Secret supermodels. I don't think it's going to happen, though. And likewise, I don't think that CalPERS is going to meet those targets that it's set. And if they don't meet those targets, it means their unfunded liability, which is huge
already,
will become enormous. And they simply won't be able to pay it in the same way that Greece hasn't been able to pay its bills.
All right, Kevin, let's talk about Los Angeles. You're running for mayor, so we won't go into your campaign specifically, but one thing you told me that astounded me is that the Los Angeles City Council members are paid $178,000 per year.
They are the highest paid legislative body in the nation, John. We just had a councilwoman that Janice Hahn went to Congress, the House of Representatives, and she has to take a cut in pay. They make more money than United States senators for a Los Angeles City Council.
Los Angeles, each councilman is given a car?
Well, each councilman, I'll tell you something else that really gets Angelenos. They get a car that has a license plate that says exempt, so they can park in meters and they don't get tickets. And in Los Angeles, our parking tickets are through the roof. And just as you were talking about in the last segment, with all of these fines and fees that they keep wanting to take from people that come to Los Angeles, it's not good for business. It chases customers away from our city and from our local businesses into neighboring communities where they don't get abused by City Hall.
$178,000 per year in Los Angeles versus in Dallas, $37,000, San Antonio, $1,400.
Well, those are part-time city councils. In Los Angeles,
seem to get it done.
They're a full-time council.
It's not like Los Angeles
of course they do.
is so well governed. Dan, put this in perspective nationally. Is there a mindset in California that says politicians just work magic and need to be compensated?
I think what happened is during the boom years in California, for decades after World War II, people were just pouring into the state. It was a lot of opportunity, great climate, and sure, government can charge a little bit more to get the great climate of California, but at some point, you hit the tipping level where all of a sudden it's just too expensive to create jobs, it's too expensive to finance a bloated workforce, it's too expensive to maintain all these pensions. But by the time you reach that level, if more than 50% of the voters in your state are somehow riding on the wagon, are either government welfare beneficiaries, government workers, or the retired living off government, how do you ever change? And that's what makes me so pessimistic. A beautiful state that I think is being ruined by big government.